Coming up on the next episode. Good late afternoon to you all, YouTube. It is 5:04 now in the afternoon. I'm here at the bench. What you are looking at, some of you may recall, I don't know. I used a device a long time ago. I was trying to make a signal tracer that would use my bench amp, my up there on that plays the music and stuff like that. And I was trying to use this as a preamp for that, and I never could get it to work very good because you end up having to turn the bench amp up almost all the way to get anything decent out of it. So what I have thought about recently, I've been talking with Bob. You all know Bob. But I thought while I'm waiting for some more parts to come in for my camera mount, whatever you want to call this thing here I'm using, and yes, I am using it right now. For this, I have my Canon on it, the PowerShot. I thought we'd play with it for a while, and so that's what I'm using. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I made this from a kit, I think. I'm pretty sure I did. It was a Velleman kit. And it is supposed to be a preamp. I think it was a microphone preamp, but it doesn't matter what it was for. But what I thought about now, being as obviously this preamp is not enough to get the level up high enough for the bench amp, I thought we need a little interstage coupling there as far as another amplifier to bring it up another stage. And I got to thinking about Don's signal tracer that he made. The only difference in it would have was he used a buffer amp. I say buffer amp. It's not really an amp, I don't think. It was just a buffer in between the probe and the components that he used. And he used the I don't remember the numbers. If I can think of the numbers, I'll put those up on the screen. And also a LM386 module amplifier to make his out of. And I was thinking about doing the same thing. I thought that little microphone, I guess that was a preamp too, but I think that would probably do our gain up high enough to where it would work. And I may play around with that. I'm going to use their a BDST probe on there, the auto sensing probe, and try some experiments with that and over the next few days and see. Like I say, I'm waiting on parts to come in for it to finish this camera mount up. And once that comes in, then I can move on with other stuff. I did work some today in here in the shop, and as well as another project I worked on. I'll show you a picture of that. I got online, or not online, but was looking for something handy to print. I try to find things that are handy to use my 3D printer for. And I got to thinking about, having a place to keep your keys. And I thought, now that would be a handy thing to have, is a light cover with hooks on it. And so I set about finding one of those, and I did find one, a three switch cover plate, and I decided to make the hooks on it separate so that they could be reprinted in case they break. They're plastic, I'm not saying they're going to break easy, but I can see scenarios where people grab the keys and don't get them off the hook right away, because I've had it happen, and the plastic break it. So if it does, I can just reprint the three hooks, and I'll be good to go. So that cover plate itself that you see in the picture there took 6 hours to print. So obviously I don't want to have to do that again. So that's what I'm planning on doing. But like I said, that was just a side that everybody was busy printing something, so I thought, I need to print something. So I did, and that was what I printed. So anyway, while I'm waiting for the foot and the glue and the things like that, I'm thinking, what better opportunity will I have to work on this? Now, those of you, I don't know how many followed along with the BDST, but I kind of lost interest in that project, and I told Bob that. and explained to him why. And so, you know, it just didn't seem like it was working out as well as I'd hoped. And I think I watched some old videos of Bob's the other day on where he compared, I think, 6 different signal tracers. One of them being the Aussie signal tracer, which uses a similar design as this Velleman, which is an op-amp with 2 stages in the op-amp. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, that will be the ticket. And I'm hoping it will. Obviously, it's going to take some settings and things like that. As far as that other module that Don used, it has a variable, I forget the gain figures now, 20 to 60, I think, on the 20 dB to 60 dB, I think was the gain levels on that. And of course the LM386, I think, was just purely a audio type amplifier. In other words, the final amplifier. So I think that might work out. Now it's not going to be as sophisticated as Don's, but I'm not looking for sophistication. When I measure radio signals, I want to hear the signal. I don't care where it's at, or what it's doing. If there's a hum in it, I don't care. I just want to hear that radio signal. And I think something like this will do that. Like I said, the probe, the BDST probe that I'm going to be using is protected against high voltage, and that will protect this in turn. And so I think that would be the way to do it. Now this one, as you can see, I have an audio plug on it, RCA type. And this one takes a 12 volt source, and I think what I'm going to use, for at least for the time being, is my little step-up USB converter that I bought some time ago. I have a 12 volt and I have a 9 volt for that, so you can plug it into a, basically, I'll show you. Here, let's turn this up a little bit. You can see there where I have my phone my phone charger plugged in. Just to plug it into something like that, you can get 12 volts out of it. Just that simple. And that's probably what I'll do. So, like I said, that's the idea. And so, hopefully, like I said, maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure. Still kind of tossing something up in the air about the Friday flap. Last Friday's flap wasn't received all that well. I know it was alive, and it was not as far as planned or anything like that. But you know, the live feed is available to watch afterwards, and they do appear on your subscription feed. So I just figured there's not that much interest in it. So you know, I'm not saying I won't do them again, but I really wasn't in the mood to do one this time. I thought about doing a late night, maybe 7 or 8 this evening, and do a Friday night live flap, maybe because there would be more people on. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't decided totally on it yet, but for right now, I'm not in the mood to do it. So that's that. I've been watching Bill's video. I just watched the one where he was talking about his camera, and I think that was a JVC, I believe. Now here's this. I wanted to show him this Canon. Now this Canon here is similar, obviously. It is a high def HD right there. Now mine on like his, when you open the door, it turns on. This one doesn't do that. Let me see if I can adjust this down a little bit more. Whoops, that may be a little too much. All right, there. But this one doesn't do that. This one has buttons on the side. And it's not really even labeled, but that button right there is how you use it for a USB connection. He has the same connector Bill had, the little mini USB. Plug in your mini USB, and then you hit that button. And then on the screen you will see a choice. Obviously I don't have it on, but there will be a choice up here because this camera has 3 memory modes, I guess is what you would call it. There's 2 slots in here for memory. I'll open that up and show you. There's the top one. I've got one in there. The top, I don't have anything in the bottom. So that's memory A and memory B there. And then there's an 8 gigabyte internal memory. So when this screen pops up here, after you connect your cable and you press that button, it asks you which one you want to transfer from, A or B or internal, and you have to push on the display so it's a touch screen. And sometimes that's a little difficult, but like I said, I've managed to be able to do it. And then it will go ahead and download your files. And so that's a similar thing to Bill's, but I think all of these are very similar cameras as far as that one. And I believe Jim Asbell was talking about one too. His was Panasonic. And so they're all kind of similar in the looks and the way they operate and stuff like that. So like I said, I like my camcorder. But it's not good for certain things on the bench. Just like what I'm doing right now, this PowerShot is much better. You know, it gives you the close-up and it gives you the far away, and it does have the zoom on it, and just like this does. So, like I said, that is a decent camera, but again, it's a little complicated getting the files off of it. And I had to go in and read, just like Bill was talking about. I had to go in and read it when I first got it to learn how to do it, because normally a camera, you basically plug in your like your ZE1, and you basically just plug in your little plugger here, USB, and that makes it connect to the camera or to the computer and download right into the computer, which I like. And that's much easier. The thing I love about this camera is the fact that you can do that. Plug in your USB. It pops up on my computer screen that there's files to download. I have my file set to download to video import on my computer, and that is on this this drive back here in the shop, the FreeNAS server. And it will instantly go ahead and upload that as soon as I hit the button to import them. And once it imports, then you just leave it connected, and your battery recharges while you're go ahead and do your editing or whatever you want to do to it. And so that's the way I do it. And then usually by the time I do my editing and get my video done, the battery has recharged. This thing gets, that's one of the few complaints I have about this is how dirty this thing gets. I don't know why that material does, but it gets really dirty. And just obviously certain, I guess because this one gets pushed more than the, well, this one doesn't get pushed at all though, so I don't know. I don't know why it does that, but it does. I've cleaned it I don't know how many times. I just finally gave up on it, said it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the operation of the camera, so like I said, that's a good little camcorder. It has a fixed focus, which, you know, limits its closeness of it, but stuff like that. But other update, I still have not found my charger for this. I've been looking. I've got several things I'm looking for. This Velleman preamp was one of them, and I did find it. So happy about that. By the way, that does have an internal adjustment there for the gain, and that can be set there. So I'll have to play around with that when we're doing this. I'm trying to get this set up to where I can use my new scope on this to measure the signals. Some of you guys have noticed the new scope sitting here, and I basically had just brought it in from the living room. It had been sitting in there on the floor for, you know, ever since I got it, and I hadn't really done much with it. But like I said, I'm really trying to figure out a way where to put this, and this is gonna be one of them things that's gonna take a lot of thought. Now, I did do some work over here on this other shelf. Let me point that out real quick if I can get this turned around. There we go. You'll notice the printer here is moved down from that shelf up there, and it is hooked up and working. I did test it. This stuff is just temporary here. It's just getting it out of the way so I can do my work on the bench. The ones up above here, I'm trying to set this up to where I can have a 2-level box system all the time, and that way, and maybe even the one above, I don't know if it'll hold 2 boxes, but we're going to try it and see. And try to use that for my box storage, and then the rest of that stuff can be put somewhere else. And like I said, that's that. So anyway, that's about all that's going on here today. And like I said, I did do some more besides the changes I just pointed out on that shelf, I did do some cable organization behind the shelf. It was getting a little crowded when I wanted to go to bed. I was having to dodge cables and stuff like that when I changed my clothes and things. My foot was always getting caught up in a power cable. So I've got that straightened up a little bit, and like I said, I'll be working on it some more, but for right now it's not too bad, so I'm kind of happy about that. Again, I'm just waiting on stuff to come in, so I'm playing around on the bench a little bit. I thought about this last night on what I want to do when I do get ready to go back to work in here. I'm thinking basically go right back to the Motorola tuner that I was working on before, and like I said, finish that, and then go into the MFP, finish that, and then go from there, because I think those two projects there were something that were in development and needed to be done. That's my way of thinking anyway. So that's probably what I'll do. That's the idea right now in my head. Now, you know how ideas come and go, especially in my head. Bill, you're not losing your mind. You're just getting older. And I just wanted to say that. I do the same thing. And I'm not as old as you are, so... just like forgetting how to use the camera. Well, if I don't use it, once or twice a week or whatever, I forget too. I mean, sometimes I have to go back and read the manual. RTFM, you know that little phrase. So, like I said, it's something that happens to all of us, and I can't really say it's an age thing with me. I've been that way most of my life, really. If I don't use something on a normal daily or semi-daily basis, I tend to forget, because to me, it's not important anymore. I mean, once it becomes not important, my brain works to categorize, I guess, things, and if it gets that in that non-important thing, it goes way back in there somewhere, and it's just difficult to find. So it's just like the piece I'm looking for the MFP here, the little signal generator. I know where it's at. I can't find the box. I've looked and I've looked and I've looked. It's not around. So, it's just stuff like that I know you can't see it what I'm looking at right now, but earlier I was looking for the box that marked MFP, and right there it is up on the shelf. I didn't see it. So, it's always something. But anyway, it's not a big deal. It's part of life, and that's just, we just cope with it the best we can as human beings, and go from there. That's all we can do. Really tickled with my heater. Haven't mentioned that lately. It's been in here. I finally had to turn it down to 60 degrees. Now, the heater, when you press the plus button, it goes from 65 or 60 to 65, then 70. It goes up by 5. I'm not really sure that's the way it's supposed to work. I'm thinking, you should be able to get in between 60 and 65, or 65 and 70, or whatever you want to do. And I read the instruction book, but it didn't mention it anywhere, so I may have to check out online and see if anybody else has had that problem or been able to figure it out how to do it. Maybe it just has something to do with holding the button down. I don't know, because I know a lot of clocks work that way. My timer on my stove works that way. If you hold the button down, it goes up by 5, and if you just click it one at a time, it will go up by 1s. So maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But it's not a big deal right now. I've got it on 60 and it's comfortable in here. And of course the temperature outside is not that bad right now. It's I think near freezing. When you say it's not that bad and it's near freezing, that's something wrong right there. You should think, well, that's not right. But after you've been down in the low teens and the 0 and things like that, that freezing mark doesn't feel so bad. So Lexi was out there washing her car today, and she was carrying out buckets of water, washing the car off. That was just comical. I should have made a video of that. That was what I should have done, but I didn't. I did get the bolt in the cross beam. I'm not sure what, a pivot arm, I guess is what I'm calling that, up there, and you can't see it because I don't have the camera mounted up there. But let me change it around so you can see it. Now I'm going to show you how easy this is, and I'm gonna let you go along for the ride. How's that? Let me just turn you around here because I'm gonna have to turn you around. And go around here like this. Around here like this. And we'll go up. And we're going up. And here we go. So there you go. There's your, pointed up a little bit right there. You can see there's the bolt that I put in, and I've got a nut and lock washer and all that stuff on the other side. So this now is tight in there. And like I said, once the section here on the elbow, you can't hardly see it, but the elbow is right here. Now I'll point you at that. Oops. There you go. There's the elbow. Once this gets glued, none of this will be moving. This one here will be solid. And like I said, that will make it really solid. It's solid now, but I mean it would be even more solid. So like I said, there's the good demo of the camera. Now this is the Canon PowerShot. It's not quite as heavy as the camcorder I've got, but it's still pretty heavy. And like I said, it has no problem at all. I can do this. The thumb wheel holds it up there just fine. I can unloosen that and it'll come down easily. As you can see, tighten it back up, move it around wherever I want to go with it. And I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, here's my bench app I was talking about earlier. But I've got to go through this. This is stuff that's collected on the bench over the past. This was what fell just a minute ago. I don't know if you heard it on camera. So I had it up there on the pegboard sticking on something, and it must not have been very good connection or whatever. But this is stuff that I recouped off the ground, when I did my vacuuming. And not all of this, but I mean some of this came from there, came from other different places that I, on the bench and things like that. But I've got to go through this and compartmentalize. I can't even say it. Compartmentalize these things and put them where they go, just like washers go in the washer drawer, nuts go in the nuts drawer. Now here's one of those. Brackets I was talking about that I bought for that aluminum flat stock I was using. I think that's one of them. Maybe that was not one of them, but it was similar to that, if not that. But that's why I made those plastic ones up, because they serve the same function. Obviously not as strong as that, but still they will work. So got to go through all these screws and put them where they go, and that's why I've got them just laying out there on the bench. That's just another little job I've got to do. All these little jobs take time. Well, I don't know what point I lost you guys, but apparently I lost because this only records a certain length of time before it shuts it down. Anyway, I forget where I left off, so I won't even bore you with that. So I think I'm gonna, without too much other stuff, I think I'm gonna get off here and do that. I haven't actually ate. It's 5:31 now, and I haven't actually ate yet, so I may do that. May get me some supper. You guys, in the meantime, this probably won't be posted until tomorrow morning. Just the way I feel. So, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya.